episode 6. We're going to call this one Outthinker. And it's your boy Icon with a DC Japanese animated TV review for you. And before we get started, hit the notification bell, like and or subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. So the show's still going. And we're in the last episode, we were doing some crazy things like we killed a dragon and we got a weapon. So now our team, they've read up, they've read up on all their skills. And they're going out, they're still fighting down, the Empire. They're taking down goblins, ghosts, and everything in between. And now we've come across elves. So we bump into elves. And this episode was actually very quick. And when they bump into the elves, we find out the elves are the ones that control all the magic. Because they got the magic wands and the staffs. They got the dark magician girl, Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic elf thing going. So, but they're controlled by the Thinker. And he is the villain of the week. And not only is it the Thinker, but it's also another woman who I think is Poison Ivy, but when I was talking to the Egregious said he feels that that's the Enchantress. And I understand why he thinks it's the Enchantress because of the magical aspect of it, but remember, in this Isekai world, everybody has enhanced powers and enhanced magic. And for me, honestly, aside from the fact that she's dressed in green, it's the red hair. The red hair is what makes me, when I look at her, I'm thinking Poison Ivy, but I will say this, though. In the defense of it being the Enchantress, she hasn't actually done anything yet with her power pertaining to plants, and Harley didn't recognize her when they came face to face. So to me, I was like, well, shit, maybe this is the Enchantress, because if it was Poison Ivy, Harley would have known her. So then, they show up. So then the Suicide Squad is there, the elves are there, the Thinker's talking his shit, and he's just like, oh, you people are morons, and you can't outthink the Thinker. And then they go after the Jugular, and then they try to kill him. They try to shoot him, it doesn't work, because he's well protected with the barricades, and he's well protected with magic. There's a moment where Harley ended up having a conversation with Poison Enchantress, and when they had a conversation, she was just like, oh, you're a member of the original Suicide Squad, and you basically went from working with Argus to now you're working for the Empire. So basically you just like being everybody's bitch. And then she got upset. But you could tell Harley's words kind of rung a bell with her, so maybe she'll flip over to the other side before all this is said and done. King Shark had a battle where he got knocked into the ocean, and then when he got knocked into the ocean, he got run up on by Killer Croc. And I was like, that was a surprise villain of the week. So now we got Killer Croc, we got the Thinker, and we got the Enchantress, who might possibly be Poison Ivy. So the Suicide Squad is fighting, or at least they're trying, because they're getting their ass beat. And then while they're getting their ass beat, they all got shot with bullets. And they all went down for the count. But before they got shot with bullets, the Thinker, because Harley was taunting the Thinker the whole time, and she was just like, you're a coward. All you do is just sit in the chair while everybody else does all the real work. And then he was like, you think I'm weak, child? He was like, then witness my true power. And then he used his mind, because he's still not fighting. He uses his mind to basically get into the minds of everybody except Harley, which was weird, and King Shark, because he was in the water, and he was showing them things that, he was showing them their fears and their failures. He showed Clayface being on stage and nobody cheered. He showed Deadshot his daughter with a gun in her hand, saying that oh, you taught me how to kill people, daddy. He showed Peacemaker basically that he failed, to protect humanity, and he failed to bring on a mission of peace. So now they're all distraught, they're emotionally upset, they feel some kind of way, and then that's when the Thinker used that moment to actually pick up a gun and shoot them. But then after that, then that's when Rick Flag showed up, and he had them on his phone, and he said, listen, I'll detonate your bombs at any moment. And the Thinker was like, well, if it was that easy, you would have did that shit a long time ago. He was like, so the fact that you didn't do it yet, he's like, I think you're bluffing. But then Flag had that poker face on, and the Thinker was like, you know what, I think we're gonna I think we're gonna dip, and we'll live to fight this battle another day. And then Thinker, Killer Croc and Enchantress, they bounced. So then after that, Harley was crying because she was like, oh, everyone's dead except Nanawe. And then, after that, that's when they all got up, because they were just like, shit, we got hit in the chest with the bullets, but for some reason the bullet didn't go all the way through our skin, and it didn't kill us. They're protected somehow, and they don't understand how they're protected. They're being, they said, their powers are growing, their enhancements are growing, and they're cheating death. They're being able to cheat death, and they don't understand how they're able to cheat death. Despite all that, they're still wallowing in their own shame because they basically lost the battle and they lost that particular kingdom and castle, and then they went back to their castle with their tails tucked between their legs. So while they're in the prison cell, I don't know why they keep voluntarily going back to this prison cell, and why Clayface keeps voluntarily putting himself in handcuffs. I'm like, you guys just went toe to toe with the Thinker. Yeah, you got your ass beat, but you've been basically murking people all over the 9 realms. So why are we willingly going to prison? Like, I don't understand this. And while they're in prison, they're just like, oh, our warriors fought bravely to the last man, but they were defeated in battle, queen. And then she was just like, all right, we'll kill them. And I'm like, how do we get there? She's like, off with their heads. And then she was just like, oh, an example must be made to the rest of our soldiers that failure will not be tolerated. But I'm like, but the soldiers can't even beat them. So then, and then after that, like Cecil, he felt bad, and then like the princess felt bad. We also found out that I was wrong about that, because I said in the previous episode, when they showed like a little child going into the palace, I thought that was like another daughter. That was actually the current princess. It was just a flashback of when she was a child. These things are in Japanese. It's hard to keep track of what's actually happening. So then, the princess showed up, and she was talking to Cecil, and she was like, oh, we can't let them defeat. She said, we can't let mother kill them, because these people are brave warriors, and they fought valiantly, and I've grown fond of them. And then he's like, as do I, your highness. He's like, I've grown fond of them as well, and, we must do what's right to protect our kingdom. And then they go downstairs, and they basically, like, let them out of prison. There was no elaborate ruse. There was no elaborate scheme. They basically just went downstairs, opened the door, and said, y'all are free to go. And I'm just like, no. Like, the queen would have a problem with that. But then they were just like, why are you letting us out? And then he's like, you need to redeem yourselves in battle and go defeat the Thinker. And then that's when Deadshot was like, so I got to go out there and get my ass kicked for you. And then he was just like, oh, but you're a brave, noble warrior. You're the finest in the land. And although you use tactical cheating and weaponry, never before seen to gain an advantage, he was like, your heart is pure and your spirit is strong. And I need you to redeem yourself in the eyes of the queen. So they're just like, okay, whatever. Harley and the princess had a nice conversation where the princess basically told her, like, I'm tired of being a pawn and I need to protect my kingdom. So they're all in agreement. Nanaue, like, he's basically, like, wallowing in his own self-pity because he got his ass beat by Killer Croc. So I assume they're going to have a rematch later. And then they just get up, walk out of the jail cell, walk out of the front door, get into a carriage, and then just drive off. And I'm like, what the fuck? So the queen is going to murder the queen's whole plan was she was going to execute them to show a sign of strength to her minions and to her warriors. Meanwhile, they all just let these motherfuckers walk right out the front door. So now they're in the coach, and then they're just like, so what are we gonna do about the Thinker? And then that's when Peacemaker says, I have a plan, to take him down, and I'm gonna kill his ass first. Like, his ass belongs to me. So then we fast forward back to the Thinker, and the Thinker, he's at the portal that leads back to the real world, that leads back to our world. The Thinker said that while he was in their minds, he saw that they need to go back to that portal to reset the bombs in their neck. So he put magic around, like that whole particular area and around like the portal to go back home. And then he also built a castle there or whatever, like a fortress. And he said that when these 72 hours are up, your necks will explode, So basically he's setting them up to the point where when they try to go back to the portal so they can reset the bombs, they won't be able to do it because he set up traps and shit everywhere. So that's going to be crazy. The Thinker's on that bullshit, but he was always a low-key G, so I can't be mad at the Thinker. That's how the episode ended, and thank you for tuning in. So like I said, I don't know what's happening. I know some people bailed on the show because they felt that it was boring. I'm still entertained by it. I still enjoy the show. I like the characters. The character interactions is what's making me it's what's making me smile. The character interactions is why I'm here. I love seeing the dynamic. Harley had another Joker dream sequence or whatever. Like I said, he's going to be the final boss as far as them taking down the original members. That's it, but I just want to see where it's going. There's a part of me, I like the fact that I don't know what's happening because I can truly just watch this episode by episode with open eyes. And like I said, when it all unfolds, because this is episode 6, so we probably got 4 more to go. And I look forward to reviewing it and checking it out with you guys as well who still enjoy Suicide Squad Isekai. So thank you for tuning in as always. Hit the notification bell, like and or subscribe to my YouTube channel. I got My Adventures of Superman, the season finale, up on my channel. I'm going to have that Cobra Kai up on the channel, and I'm also going to have Kite Man and other things for you guys as well. Another convention coming soon where I go to New York Swim Week next Saturday, so look out for that as well, and we'll be here for some more Red Eyes entertainment action. So that was it, guys, so thanks for tuning in. Lock your mind because the thing is coming in, invade your dreams, and we're out this bitch!